Hello and welcome to the Texit Coin Overview. I'll be your host, Dr. Purpose. We live in effect, and you are in for a purposeful night. We thank you. We welcome you for being here. We're going to talk about this thing called crypto mining. Just an exciting time. And again, just a little bit about myself. Uh, again, my name is Dr. Purpose, and I'm a purpose identity coach. I work with a lot of teens and parents, and that's been something that's really, really special, near and dear to my heart. I'm also again, purpose identity coach, and again, a community advocate out here, talking with our community, out here on the front lines, and doing a lot of just mixing it up and just speaking for the voiceless here. Again, and also a business owner, small business owner, a lot of success in the business realm, community advocate, like I mentioned before. And one of the things I've done is in this realm is advance top ranks in some of the major marketing companies as well. And so, founder of Dr. Purpose Coaching, where I do a lot of coaching again with teens and parents and things of that such. And so, but again, tonight is going to be a purposeful night. I get the distinct pleasure of introducing someone who means a great deal for me, not just in business, but in life itself. This person has been someone who's touched me dearly, has touched my heart, my family, has been with me over 20 years that I've created a relationship with. So this person has worn many hats. Has been an Air Force veteran, a successful business owner, a dedicated marriage coach alongside his amazing wife, a community advocate as well, out there on the front lines for the voiceless. And yes, this person has even ran for Congress. Can you believe that? How many people has ran for Congress? Okay. And so we've done many businesses together over the years, and some things we have soared, some things have humbled us, but every time we grew stronger. So when he called me about Texas Coin, I told him no initially, right? Initially, I told him no. And but after a few days and looking at the information, looking at the owner, Bobby Gray's vision, I jumped on board, and I'm glad I said yes because it's been life changing. Okay, and so tonight, hopefully, it can be life changing for you. So this man is a visionary, a servant leader, someone I'm proud to stand beside in this movement. Help me to bring to our stage your presenter tonight, Mr. Casper Stockham.
Hey, Dr. Purpose, man, I sure appreciate that introduction. Hey, folks, we're not going to waste your time on this. We want to really show you what's going on with Texacoin, and we're going to bring Dr. Purpose back so we can answer some questions that you have. If you have any questions at all, feel free to type them in the chat box as we're going. In fact, I see some questions already popping in there, so that's awesome. My name is Casper Stockham. I have over 40 years of business marketing experience. I've achieved top level ranks in many marketing companies over the years. I'm a founder of AllStars Success Alliance. It's a online training company, and I've designed compensation plans for different companies. I've also authored the book, The Golden Business Solution, the Texit edition. So you can get a copy of that on our team website, texitallstars.com. I'm a business owner, and I'm a Texit leader. And just like Dr. Purpose and Don was saying, when I first heard about Texit, my answer was no, I'm not interested because, I had lost money in crypto and I wasn't interested in losing any more money. But a good friend of mine invited me to this gathering at a hotel not too far from where I live. And I went over kicking and screaming, really. And I called Don. In fact, I called Dr. Purpose. I said, I'm going over to check this out. Don't worry. I'm not going to do it because it's crypto and we lost money in crypto and we didn't want to lose any more money. So not going to do it. But what I did, but when I went over, there were a lot of red flags. And the reason why I lost money in crypto, because there were red flags that I didn't pay attention to because of the potential opportunity. But what happened was when I went to check out Texit Coin, a lot of the red flags weren't there. We're going to go through that and you're going to see exactly what I mean here as I go through this presentation. Now, the first thing though is I'm going to talk about the bad news. The bad news is our dollar, the American dollar, is in bad shape and has been in bad shape for a long time. Since 2013, when they created the Federal Reserve, our dollar started to go in decline. And then when Nixon removed the dollar from the gold standard, it really started to decline. And now our dollar is only worth about between 5 and 2 cents. When I was a kid, you could go to the movies with $2 and you could take a friend and you could stay to the movies all day and watch movies and have popcorn and all this kind of stuff. Today, I took my daughter to the movies. It cost me $60, $70 just for the two of us, just to get one movie and a Happy Meal. It was not a good situation, but that's where we're at today. So let's get off of the bad news. Let's start talking about some good news. The good news is crypto and crypto mining and just the whole crypto industry has become mainstream. It's become accepted in the marketplace. Now, this has been a recent occurrence because just a few years ago, a lot of major banks were dismissing crypto as being a fad, being a scam, and all these other things. But today, all major banks, and even if they say they don't, they do. All major banks take part in crypto. They're buying Bitcoin like nobody's business. JP Morgan Chase, Morgan Stanley, all these companies are all participating in crypto. Now, Coinbase is a crypto platform that you can buy and trade, and you can have a Coinbase account for your crypto wallet. They are now traded on the S&P 500. And back in June, when they went on the S&P 500, they broke records on the S&P 500, and they surged to 43% in June and became the top moving trading crypto or stock on the S&P 500. So crypto has become mainstream. The challenge is we as individuals, we're not really paying attention. We don't really know what's going on and we don't know how to take advantage of it. But we're going to change that for you tonight. Now, President Trump several weeks ago signed the Genius Act. Now, there are some potential challenges with the Genius Act, but one thing that it really did for us in the crypto space is it put up some guardrails. So now it's not as much of a wild, wild west as it was prior to the Genius Act. There's a stable coin platform built into there, but it just allows crypto to be more mainstream, and that's what's going on right now. Also, just last week, I think, President Trump signed an executive order that allows for crypto to be put into your 401k plan. Do you understand how powerful that is? Now, your crypto assets can now be put into your 401k, just like stocks and mutual funds and bonds and all that stuff. Now you can put in crypto. That makes it more mainstream and more accepted than ever before. So just by a show of hands, how many of you folks out there heard of Bitcoin, right? I heard of Bitcoin. I saw Bitcoin when it was $50 a coin. And I thought, who in the world would want to participate or buy $50 of an imaginary coin in an imaginary location that I couldn't really do anything with? But that was when it was called a hobby, right? That was back in 2009 to 2012. It's kind of like a hobby. People were doing it, didn't really understand it, but we were just watching it. And then it became a venture. People started to actually make some money from transactions, things going on from 2012 to 2016. And then it started to scale up. It started to become big time mainstream. And from 16 to 20, people were making really big money in Bitcoin. But now it's become more corporatized and more of an institution. And now the Genius Act ties crypto to the US dollar. So, before when we were backed by gold and they removed us from the gold standard, well, President Trump has tied crypto to the US dollar to give the US dollar some strength, but give crypto some credibility. But that's what the whole Bitcoin process has done for the crypto industry. Well, it's crypto mining time, and I didn't know anything about crypto mining. You may or may not know anything about crypto mining, but when I first heard about it, I said, "Well, that's different than just buying crypto on the market. To me, that's buying it retail. Mining to me is like wholesale. We're going to get more into that in a minute, but mining is where it's at, folks, and we're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk about Texit Coin. Why Texit Coin? Well, for us, Texit Coin is like a Bitcoin time machine. This allows us to go back in time and correct some of the things that Bitcoin did wrong, but also follow the success path of Bitcoin and take Texit Coin to a whole new level. So that's why we're so excited about it. So let me give you some reasons why we feel Texit Coin is really the best opportunity right now in the crypto space. First of all, it's based in the US. One of the red flags that I saw that I didn't see at the time with other crypto that I see with that I don't see with Texit Coin is that those opportunities were not based in the US. We didn't know who was running them. We didn't know where they were located. We didn't know anything about it other than it looked like a great opportunity. Well, now we know exactly who's running it. His name is Bobby Gray. I was just on a corporate live call with Bobby and a few hundred other miners that are in the business. And he answers questions on the call. So that is a very transparent situation. The mining is crowdfunded, not pre-mined. So there's some pre-mined coins out there. Ours is a crowdfunding situation where we're building the mine. That's the whole purpose of us doing what we're doing. And it is a very profitable place to be as well. Each mining position produces passive coins daily for the next 135 years. This is creating legacy wealth if you understand how to position yourself and your family for this opportunity. I'm telling you, this is a really awesome place. Now, I say passive because you don't have to do anything other than get positioned with the miner, right? So we'll talk about the mining positions here shortly, but you get a mining position, it's passive. You can just get it, set it, and forget it. And then check on it every once in a while. But every day, that miner is producing coin for you every single day. Coins are held by the mining partner in a secure cold storage wallet. We're going to talk more about that because Bobby invented the cold storage wallet concept and was sold hundreds, thousands of those coins to different cryptocurrencies. Once the coin is mined, it's liquid. Another red flag that I didn't see in that I saw in other programs that I don't see in Texit Coin, these coins are liquid. Your coins are going into your wallet every day, and you can literally sell them every day if you wanted to. So it's very liquid, and we'll show you that process. But that is a red flag in other programs that you won't see with Texit Coin. We have a crowdfunding option to earn while you learn. You can earn up to $3,000 per month per transaction node. So it's very profitable if you want to. You don't have to tell anybody about it, but if you want to, it is very profitable. And the founder, Bobby Gray, is an expert in alternative currencies, and he was in the gold and silver business, minting different coins with different specialty coins that he was minting for the Bitcoin industry and others. And he also spoke in front of the U.S. Congress. Congressman or Senator Ron, I think it was Senator Ron Paul invited him to Congress to speak about currencies and what's going on and getting his opinion on those things. We are big on brand awareness, so Bobby is spending a lot of money on billboards and radio ads, airport ads. In fact, I'll show you some of the images of the ads that are in the different airports in Texas right now, but we're expanding out to other airports, other cities, other states with those advertising. And then more and more retailers are accepting TXC, which is the trading code for Texit Coin, for payments. And that's going to be a phase 2 of of what we do as we roll this out. And Texas mining community is growing. I have to keep changing this slide every time we do a presentation because the number changes every time. Now we're over 16,000 miners, and our goal is 1 million. So we are still at the very early stage of this process to where our goal is 1 million. We're at 16,000 right now. So Texas Coin has been on the upside to swing up on the trading ever since we started in 2024, when it was trading at 2.8 cents. 2.8 cents. And in March, it was like 45 cents. But guess what, folks? Today, and I had to do this, change the slide again today, as of today, it was at 217. That's pretty substantial growth for any coin, for anything that's on the market. That's very substantial growth. Here's another real live shot of the coin trading on Coin Market Cap. You can see the upward progression over the past year. It's more of a stair-step progression than the ups, the highs, and low swings. And we'll show you why that is here shortly, because that's another reason why I was excited about this. Because again, if you get into crypto, you're buying your retail and you're praying, hoping and praying and wishing that the coin value goes up. Well, you know, these things go up and down, but we've been going up, stair step. We go up a little bit more, and I'll show you how that works here in just a moment. This is a picture of some of the mining equipment that we have currently and are continuing to buy. Bobby was just talking about the fact we just got more mining equipment shipment in. We're starting to install trailer. I'll show you a picture here in a second. This large storage container full of mining equipment that we're starting to install those every month. And he said we have to keep installing them every month to build out this mine. That's a picture of Bobby Gray up in the top center there. And here's a storage container. They call it a fog hash with our Texas Coin logo on it. We're going to have many of these large shipping container. You can walk into these shipping container units filled with mining server equipment that does the mining for us on a daily basis. Here's some pictures of some of the leaders that were visiting Bobby in Texas. They actually drove to McKinney, Texas to touch and feel and check out the equipment and make sure Bobby was a real guy. So in that picture at the top there, we got Dan, Greg Knox, and Carl. And Greg Knox, we are fortunate because he is standing by in the green room. You're going to hear from him toward the end of my presentation. So they went down, they really checked that out. Maybe he can tell us a little bit about that when he comes on. So this is an image of the cold storage coin that we have with Texas Coin. This coin was invented by Bobby. It's a cold storage coin. And because the challenge in the industry was that if you had your Bitcoin on your phone or on your computer, or if you lost your passphrase code words, you lost all your coin. Well, Bobby invented this technology to where you could download your crypto onto this cold storage coin. So as long as you had your coin, you could recover all of your crypto. Now, do not lose this coin, because just like if you had silver or gold, you want to have it in a safe deposit box or somewhere safe. Because if you lose this coin, you lose your crypto. So you want to make sure you keep it safe, just like you would silver or gold. Okay, folks, if you haven't figured this out already, Texas Coin is different. We are the goose that's laying the golden eggs. The golden eggs are the coin. Now, which would you rather have? Would you rather have the goose or just buy a golden egg and hope and pray that the price of gold keeps going up? I'd rather have the goose that's laying the golden eggs, because it's going to continue to lay those eggs each and every day. That's how powerful this is. This is a snapshot of the transparency of Texas Coin. I've been studying and looking at companies for many, many years. I have never seen any company, I don't care if it's in this industry or outside of this industry, that shows their numbers on a front page of their website before somebody actually logs in. What they typically do is once a year, they have a stakeholders meeting or board of directors meeting to where they go through the numbers. No, Texas Coin shows you the numbers And these are active charts on the website, so you can check it out by month, by week, by year, whatever, and you can click on it and see what that particular chart is talking about. Here in the center here, it says 41.55. That's 41 million. That's how much money Texacoin has raised over the past year and a half. Now, when I saw it back in early May, I think it was like 5 million. So we've grown substantially since May of this year. The circle down in the bottom right, it says 16,000 something. That's 16,000 miners that are now in operation. These are digital miners that are now in operation with Texacoin, and that number continues to grow. I just did the snapshot literally just about an hour or so ago. These are some of the billboards that are scattered throughout Texas right now. But like I said, there's billboards in Arizona. There's billboards in different states, Florida, I believe, and other states. And look at the price on there. It's talking about 57 cents and $1 and 2 cents, right? But now we're at 2.17. These are pictures of advertisements that are going on in the airports. I believe this was the Austin airport, but we are in Dallas, Fort Worth, Houston airport, Austin airport, and other locations now throughout Texas. And again, like I said, throughout the country. Bobby loves to have Texacoin out front and advertising what's going on with Texacoin. We are not hiding in the shadows at all. We are up front and right out there. Now, some of us went a trip to Vegas several months ago, and Bobby had these large billboard trucks driving up and down the strip. So we took some pictures of those trucks because there was a Bitcoin convention happening in Vegas. So we wanted to make sure that all the Bitcoin folks and all the crypto folks really got a chance to see Texacoin front and center. So that was really exciting to see those trucks going up and down the strip. We also are wrapping cars, and a lot of these, Bobby is paying for the wrap on these cars. I don't know whose cars who, but these cars are in Texas and other states now being wrapped by Texacoin. Pretty exciting. This is just a picture of our community. Some of us that are out there every day. And this is when we were in Vegas. You know, we got me and Kevin down here in the bottom right corner and a bunch of other leaders here that were there in Vegas. Again, some more pictures of leaders. On the far right is Kira, who is Bobby's wife, and Dan's wife was there. Jill was there as well with Kira. Some more pictures of us there in Vegas. They got me and Dan. He's holding a copy of my book. And then me and Bobby. Now, somebody had said a funny joke right as they were taking this picture. So Bobby was right in the middle of laughing when they took that picture. It's kind of cool. So this is the image of the screen captures of the process of cashing out your coin. Because a lot of people say, okay, great, cash. Yeah, this sounds great, but can I cash it out? How do I get my money out of this thing? Well, it's actually pretty simple. This process takes about 30 to 40 minutes to go all the way through this process, but you can go from your Texacoin wallet, you take it over to DexTrade. And I've done this process, by the way, a couple of times, so I know for a fact that it works. You take it over to DexTrade, you put it up for sale on the market, depending on what price you list that you want to sell it for. It could sell right away, or it may take a couple minutes, or it may take a day, depending on how much you say you want to sell it for. And then once it sells, then you can transfer it back to your crypto wallet, Coinbase or Kraken or whatever. And then from there, if you have a Coinbase debit card, which I have, you can just use your debit card wherever you use any debit card, or you can send the money to your bank account. So it's a very liquid, very, very easily accessible cryptocurrency. This is just a snapshot of the DexTrade trading platform where you would do the trading to trade out your Texacoin. If you're going to get involved with us, you really will need to get some type of a crypto wallet. Now, you don't need it to get started, but you will need it if you want to cash out, because you have to have a place to put your cryptocurrency. You won't be able to put it in your bank until you get it to this type of wallet first. So we have Coinbase, crypto.com, Kraken, Trust Wallet. There's a bunch of wallets out there. Everybody has their favorites. There's MetaMask. Okay, there's a bunch of them. I have a lot of them because I want to try and make sure that I know how to work them all. But the main one I use is Coinbase. And in fact, if I can do this quickly so we're not wasting time here, I have my Coinbase debit card. Here you go. It's my Coinbase debit card. So I just use that when I want to access my money that I send over to Coinbase. All right. Like we said before, you don't need to tell anybody about this if you don't want to. You will have coins growing every day in your wallet, and it just grows every day. There's coins that go in there every day. You don't have to tell anybody about it. But if you do, there's a very, very good compensation structure attached to it. It's a rewards program. So if you went to the restaurant, you had a really good meal at the restaurant. If you told somebody about it, the restaurant's probably not going to give you any money. But with Texit Coin, you get paid handsomely to share this program to help and build the mind, right? So the weekly rewards plan is super, super simple. There's only one page, really. When you have 3 points on your left and 3 points on your right, you earn $1,000. And you can do that weekly, right? If you have 6 points on your left and 6 points on your right, you can earn $2,000. Again, that's weekly. And if you have 9 points on the left and 9 points on the right, you can earn up to $3,000. So that's the max you can earn per week. But if you have other business centers, you can earn up to 9,000. So it's kind of cool, right? There's no hoops, no hurdles, no unlocks. You know, like I said, it's very, very simple. Just volume, structure, and results. Now there are some other there's some other parts to the compensation plan I'm not really going to go into because most people don't understand them anyway. But I'll be happy to explain them to you. In fact, during the Q&A, if you have a specific question about the compensation plan, just let us know and we'll answer those questions for you. So there's several ways to get a mining package or position within Texit Coin. There's one called the Builder Pack. It's basically $9,000. It allows for you to earn a maximum of $9,000 per week because you have multiple tracking centers. You get 900 mega hash, and you say, well, what is mega hash? Don't worry about it right now, but it's mining power. It's more computing power. It's more horsepower that gives you more power to mine. It's like instead of having one pickaxe, you got 3 or 4 pickaxes going in the mine to dig out that digital currency. So that's what that Builder Pack would do for you. You also have a Tri-Pack, right? It's 3,000 one time. By the way, that's 9,000 one time. That's a 3,000 one time. Now with the Tri-Pack, you get 300 mega hash instead of 900. But again, it's mining computing power to give you more power to turn out more coins. And then we have the single, which is $1,000. You get 100 mega hash, and you can start mining with that immediately. The next day, you sign up today, tomorrow, you'll have coins starting to accumulate in your wallet. So it's pretty exciting. And there are some specials the company is running. You could buy a 5-pack and get 1 free. You could buy it. When you buy that 9-pack, you actually get 2 free. So there's some incentive really to get any one of those packages. This slide right here, I hope you pay super close attention because I'm closing out here. But this slide is what did it for me. Because I'm like, how does he know, he as in Bobby, how did he know back in December of 2024 where we would be in August of 2025? Now, these numbers may be hard to read, so I'm going to show you another slide here in a minute. But he did this handwritten note. He said, by February of 2026, we're going to be at $16. And he has a whole path to 16 where he explains how that happens. We can get you a copy of it and we can talk about that during the Q&A if you like. This is a easier chart to read. This is what you just saw, but now it's in an Excel spreadsheet. And in August, he said we were going to be at $1.95. Well, I showed you where we are right now. We're at 217, 215, 217. It fluctuates. Well, we're definitely over 195. In September, he said we're going to be at 275. In October, he said we're going to be at 379. So my question to you is, where is a good place for you to jump into this? You know, you want to wait till October to jump in, because this thing has been going since December of 2024, and he's been spot on every time. And you can see in August, he's spot on. In fact, he underestimated where we'd be in August. So where do you want to jump into this? This makes too much sense. And this is not financial advice, but it just makes too much sense not to take advantage of it, because what you have to lose is only a one-time fee of $9.95. If you lost anything, that's the only thing you'd have to lose. All right, so somebody says, okay, great. Yeah, but I like silver. Silver is solid. Silver is there. You're correct. Silver has about a 15% growth rate over a year. Not bad, but 15%. Gold is actually less right now. It fluctuates. These are fluctuating numbers. But gold, if you invested $1,000 in gold, it's about a 10% return a year. Bitcoin, though, Bitcoin is 134%. The granddaddy of all the crypto is only at about 134% right now, because Bitcoin, back when I saw it at $50, Bitcoin is now 220 something. I'm sorry, 120 something thousand per coin, not $50, 120,000 per coin. But it's only growing right now at about 134%. XRP, we have people talk to us about XRP. I got some XRP. I got $50 of XRP or $500 in XRP. Great. If you had $1,000 of XRP, it's growing at about 408%. That's really good per year. That's really good. XRP is on fire. But guess what's happening with Texit Coin? Right now with Texit Coin, if you factor in the $16 that will be in February, we're at over 1,100% growth if you factor in that $16 by February. Now, if you buy a miner, it's even better. If somebody says, well, can I just buy the coin? Yeah, you can. You can go on the market and buy the coin. But if you buy a miner, it keeps mining. It doesn't stop. The coin the coin value grows, but the amount of coin you have does not grow. But if you buy a miner, you have more and more coins every day, every day, every day. So it's a much better place to be at. All right. So we are very fortunate to have a gentleman with us tonight. I've gotten the chance to know him personally. He's a great guy. He's come in to help me in Colorado several times already. Mr. Greg Knox is standing by. Let me give you a little bit of history about him, and I'll pull him up. So Greg has 35 plus years in professional sales. He has sold and shipped over 15,000 Lexuses all over the world. He is the #1 food truck salesman in the entire United States. He has reached top-level ranks in 3 different networking companies over the years. He has maxed the Texit referral program 11 out of 15 weeks, and I'm sure it's actually his numbers are higher now, because this was several months ago when I said that. And he's the newest Texit Ranger, and maybe he can tell you about that. So I'm going to bring up Mr. Greg Knox. Are you there, sir?
I'm here, Casper. Can you hear me?
I can.
Awesome, man. What a great job. I get all excited every time I hear you covering the facts of life here, because it's quite a roller coaster, but quite a ride, quite a rocket ship that we're on here. But I started March 28th, which is only 5 months ago, as of here in a few days. I started with 4 miners. At that time, you could buy 3 and you got one free. My hash now is up to 48. So I got I made a note here. 5 times I've sponsored 16 people. I got 1, 2 free 5 different times.
Yeah.
So that gave me 10 more, because you get 2 when you do it in the first 30 days. And then when you make $3,000 and max out the comp plan, I've done that like 17 times, 17 weeks in a row. That gives 5 of those times I took hash instead of cash. You can take either cash, hash, or Texit coin. So the 6 times I took the hash, that gave me another, moved me up to another 30 hash power. And so they ended up giving me a total of the 48 miners, which produces about 90 coins a day, which is about right at $200 a day. So now that doesn't sound too bad, for right now. But when that goes to $10, when the coin's at $10, that'll be $900 a day.
Exactly.
And when it goes to $16 sometime next year, I hope it doesn't go too soon because I'm trying to get more coins before February. But that will be $1,440 a day.
Wow.
But the coin, this is the real deal. You were talking about when we met Bobby the first time in March down in Texas, and I went down there, and Carl and myself and Dan, we all went, and it was amazing just to see the whole situation, the way he opened his house, opened his whole business plan and everything, and showed it to us so we could see that it's the real deal, because we have done some deals that didn't turn out so well. We've done some that turned out real well.
Yeah.
But in crypto has been the wild, wild west, as you refer to it. But now, thanks to the Genius Act and Trump and all, the SEC's classified us, we're not a security anymore. So that they pulled all the they had a lot of investigation going on different crypto companies. That's all stopped. So we're considered a collectible now. But I was telling you just a quick story. Last weekend I went to, Bobby was guest speaker at Ron Paul's 90th birthday party in Texas, Lake Jackson, Texas. So I flew to Houston. I'm getting goosebumps even thinking about it. I flew to Houston. First thing when I got off the plane, the first thing I saw was a Texit advertisement rotating on the TV, and I'm like, this is amazing. Then I go on down this is in Houston Hobby. Then I'm going to get my rental car, and I see it again about halfway through the airport. And then when I get to the baggage claim, I see it for the third time. I thought, this is crazy, because I didn't even know they had them in Texas. In that airport, I thought they just had them in Intercontinental. But it was there in the Houston Hobby Airport. So. But we're building the largest independent mine in the U.S., and it just happens to be in Texas. And they're getting ready to set the first 40-foot container in Victoria here in a few days. It's going to hold 200 of the mines. This deal, there's nothing better. We've still less than 10% of the seats have been sold on the rocket ship.
Yeah.
So, but we're growing so fast. Last week we did almost $5 million in business, and over 300 something people per day are now joining us. So if it's if you don't want to grab a seat on this rocket, it's just, you can come in with the 9-pack like a lot of people are doing, which gets you 2 free, or you can just start with the 1-pack until you get a good feeling about the situation, and then you can always upgrade. A lot of people will do that.
Yeah.
But don't put in more than you can afford to lose. But it's I'm all in, 100% all in. I've just never seen anything like it, and I can't wait to come back to Denver and see you guys again. And this is really a once in a lifetime situation. It really is.
Yeah. And I forgot to mention, Greg, that you're 100% correct on this is a once in a lifetime, but it's also a limited time.
Exactly.
Because
it's not going on forever.
It's not going to go on forever. Once the mine is built, it's built. So we have what would you say, like a year and a half or so of this building, and that's
it. But every evening around 7 or 7:30 p.m. Central Time, we get our coins deposited right into our cold storage wallet.
Right.
So that'll happen once the mine's finished.
Yeah, that'll keep happening, right, for 135 years.
Exactly. Plus, there will be people selling their positions because there's not any more of them. So when a supply and demand situation, if somebody wants to sell a few of their miners, that'll happen. And Bobby's talking about auctioning off the last miner, the millionth miner, because who knows what people will pay for it.
Right.
So now as we get more miners, we get less coins per day. But it's been averaging around $400 per day per miner. So if with one miner $4 a day, that's $120 a month.
Right.
and that for $1,000 investment, it doesn't take you that long to get your return back. And as the coin goes up, you're going to get more than that $4 a day. So it's, I don't know I've never seen like it. The company is rock solid. Everything's liquid, everything's paid for. And it is not an MLM, but it is a crowdfunding deal. So
Yeah.
that helps us regulation wise and otherwise. We're crowdfunding it by doing the miners, but it has an MLM flair to the payment structure.
The
So
payment structure, yeah, but
yeah.
there's no auto ships going on. There's no
No.
ranks other than Texas Ranger, and there's no
Yeah.
like ranks and diamonds and pearls and rubies and all that stuff.
Right. And one-time fee, you can buy once and be done. But what most people are doing, they're buying that first miner, then they're getting comfortable, then they're upgrading to the 5-pack or the 9-pack or whatever.
Yeah.
And we're not allowing the big whales like the BlackRocks and the big banks and those guys to get in. $9,000 is the most we want from anybody. So nobody's going to take control. Like the Chinese control Bitcoin now. The big banks control Bitcoin, the BlackRocks and all the big investment companies. So that's what's wrong with Bitcoin. And Bobby's decided that Texit needs to do right what Bitcoin's made mistakes at doing. So, but have you got any questions for me or anything else to talk about?
Well, we're gonna get to Q&A here in a second. I want to close out the presentation, and then I'm going to have you and Dr. Purpose come back, and we're going to answer some questions. We got folks watching online, and there's questions popping in there, so we're going to get to those. I'm going to put you back in agreement for a second, close this out, and then
sounds good.
All right. That was Mr. Greg Knox. He's an awesome guy. And folks, this is really simple. It's like super simple. One of the simplest things that I've ever done, and it's been going well. All you really need to know is 3 things. MineTXC.com is the corporate website. That's how you can get access to your account when you sign up with Texacoin. We have help.mine.txc that you can get a lot of your questions answered. I'd say 80-90% of your questions answered right from there. And then we are part of the Texit AllStars team. So TexitAllStars.com is a generic initial site for Texit information and team site. So we got a lot of great training that's going to be available on that site, plus all the calls that happen every week. You can get access to those calls and a lot more from that site. And this is this is the time, right? This is the time for you to hop on this rocket ship. It's only going to last for about 1.5 years. So we put in 1.5 years worth of work, and then it's smooth sailing coasting for generations. You're going to be willing this coin to your children and grandchildren and their children. So it's a phenomenal opportunity. Thank you for watching. We're going to bring back Dr. Purpose and Greg, and I'm going to stop this slide presentation, bring those guys back up, because there are some questions popping up in the chat. And we have some other questions that people were sending in. So we're going to try to get to some of those. All right. I might have to scroll all the way back to the top here.
Great call. Great presentation there, Casper. I just get super excited listening to both you and Greg and talking about this. And so awesome.
Yeah, so somebody asked, please explain how Texacoin solves the problems of Bitcoin. This is a great question, right? How it solves the problem of Bitcoin. If there's a video about it, that's good. That's good as well. Please send that link to me. So we'll get you a link to some videos here in a second, Robin. But Greg, how is Texacoin? How does it solve the Bitcoin problem, or how is it different than Bitcoin?
Well, like I said, the big banks got involved in Bitcoin back, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 years ago. And they were telling all their employees not to buy it. That Jamie Dimon with the bank said, don't buy it, we'll fire you, where the whole time the bank's buying it. Wow. So they know that, the fiat, the printing paper is is not going to last, and our government has just not done a good job and been a good steward of the printing press. So But the number one reason is the big boys are already involved. And we wanted Bitcoin originally was to be totally separate from the banks. So that's where Texit Coin is not going to be owned by any bankers or any philanthropists or any billionaires. There might be some millionaires buy a few coins or miners, but there's not going to be any big overtake of like with Texit like there has been Bitcoin. And there's only going to be that 353 million coins, period. That's all they're going to be, and it is going to mine for 130 something years. So,
right.
But there's other reasons it's different from Bitcoin, but that's the main thing is the control of the banks and the
Awesome.
big investment companies.
Awesome. Another question is, how much does it cost to have a crypto wallet on your phone?
Costs absolutely nothing, zero.
Yep.
There's all kinds of them. I have several. Some of them have coins in them. Some of them don't have that many. So it's just there's no cost to get in. There's small transaction fees when you sell or buy coins, but that's where they make their money with the wallets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I actually have probably 10 different wallets on my phone. I don't use them all, but I like seeing how they operate and
Right.
what it takes to get signed up with them. But they're all free, so yeah, it doesn't take anything to get them. Another question is, what do I tell people who might think that this is just a churn and burn, and how do I assure them that it's not?
Well, first of all, we're totally transparent as far as the financial, the money coming in, the commissions paid out, the blockchain, the miners being paid for and purchased, the hash power that's being purchased. Everything is totally in the back office, transparent of where every dime, the amount of money, the 20% that's spent on advertising. Like I said, around 40% is paid out in commissions, but it costs hundreds of millions of dollars to build the kind of mine that we're building. So there's a lot of money that goes into building the mine, and we're doing the best with the best equipment and the best people at this moment.
Yeah. Well, that's why I like in the presentation where we show that one screen of all the charts that come
Right.
up on the website without you even logging in.
Right.
I've never seen any company be that transparent. So if it was going to
No.
be a churn and burn or pump and dump or whatever, they don't do that, right? They're hiding in, they're not running ads on billboards at the airport. Right? They
Exactly.
are hiding in the shadows.
Yeah, we're actually sponsoring the Texas State Fair coming up. They're looking at they're working and trying to work a deal right now with Barrett Jackson Auto Auction to do that, sponsor that in January. Like I said, they're sponsoring all. There's something else that we're trying to think. There was something else that they're working on that's very good as far as the sponsorship goes. But like you said, the names out there everywhere. If you're in Texas, that you know about Texas because it's on over 175 billboards all over the state.
Well, when I flew into Texas a couple of months ago, I was at the renter car place and I had my Texit shirt on. And the guy said, "Man, are you in Texas?" I said, "I sure am." He said, "I see those ads everywhere." And I wound up talking to him for just a few minutes, gave him my business card, and he was looking in the Texit coin. I got to the hotel, and the hotel guy at the front counter, we got to talking about Texit coin because he saw my shirt, and he is actually has a miner. He's in the business.
That's awesome.
To this day. Yeah. Whoever was asking about the more information, I typed in the website you can go to get started on a lot of information about Texit. You go to texitallstars.com. It's in the chat box there, texitallstars.com. Here's another question. Please explain the benefits of purchasing hash with the commission. Tonight, I noticed when I use my commission to purchase the hash, my cash potential decreased, and I don't understand why. That's definitely a great question because I have no idea.
Yeah, that's I purchased a lot, and the reason it decreases because you're buying miners at 500 a piece instead of 1,000 a piece. So if you take cash or hash or Texit coin, I've taken Texit coin a few weeks too. That does decrease your cash potential.
Okay.
All right.
Very good. Very good. All
Okay.
right. Dr. Purpose, did you have any questions on your end over there?
Yeah, I mean, one of the most common questions that I get all the time, and I'll direct this to you, Greg, is what makes Texas coin valuable? And when you start looking at the mines and all that, I'm like, that's a great question. So what makes it valuable?
Well, mainly it's just like a supply and demand, just like with anything. That's why the more people that get involved, the more people that know about Texit, the more places that take the Texit, the utility they call it. I mean, there's all kinds of restaurants. There's a lot of peer-to-peer transactions. If you've got something I want, Donald, and I've you've got a Texit wallet and I've got one, we can hold our phones up to each other. I can give you my coins, pay you in Texit instantly. I bought some shirts and hats and business cards from a guy in Texas in Lubbock, and I paid him. I said, "You want cash or you want Venmo, or because I'm in Tennessee, or you want Texas?" He said, "No, I want Texas." I said, "Well, I hate to get rid of it, but I will." And I did. I paid him 250 Texas coins for a $400 something invoice. The
Mm,
2 weeks, 2 days later, the coin jumped from $1.80 to 210. So I should have been better. I've been better off paying him cash, but I'm glad I did the transaction. So
right.
there's a
Awesome.
lot of people that are. I mean, it's just getting known. You'll be able to buy cars with it. You'll be able to buy groceries with it. These downtown city deals where they downtown associations are. We're sponsoring those now with the Texit. There's a lot of downtown currencies for different events are gonna also take Texit. So it like I say, it's starting in Texas, but it's going to go to the other countries. Other states, just like it is in Texas.
Well, one of the questions that came up was about other countries. Now, I know we do have some limited miners happening in other countries, but I know that's not
Yeah,
a
yeah,
main push for
10%.
10%.
10% is what's allowed, but we've got almost, I think, 300 people or so. It shows in the back office how many people are in Australia and New Zealand. And Bobby's talking about making a trip over there once we get back from Thailand. So, and then when we go to Thailand, there's a lot of people that are wanting to buy Texit also.
Oh, wow.
So with that, there's a big crypto event that we're going to be participating in over there. So there will be some selling of coins. And Bitmain, the people that create the equipment that make the miners for us in China, they try to buy coins every week because they've been watching it going up and they've seen what kind of mine we're building, and it's their equipment, so they understand that we're how good a job we're doing. The most they can usually buy every week on the open market is about 5,000 coins at a time, and they would like to buy a lot more than that because they see they see where it started and where it's going, and they know where they know we're going to keep on buying these miners, and we're going to build the most independent, decentralized mine in the U.S. or possibly in the world.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you.
Any other questions, Donald, that you need some
Yeah.
answers?
Another one there. You mentioned that, Casper, you mentioned that you were able to spend some of that. What's some other things that we can buy? I get that all the time. People want to know, is it liquid? People want to know, everything purchases, everyday purchases. What do you see? Can someone right today, as you mentioned, go into, whatever store and buy some product?
Well, there's a website that's almost finished, and they almost launched it last week, and they had a couple of hiccups. But it's where you can go in the stores and the places that you can buy, and it's kind of like an Amazon, a miniature like Amazon website where you can go. I can't think they're calling it. They've named it 2 or 3 different times. It's pay something, but you're going to be able to go in there and buy anything in that website with your Texas coins.
Oh,
And
wow.
that way, the biggest thing with Texit is it's pretty stable. It doesn't fluctuate that much like Bitcoin. That's another big problem with Bitcoin. It fluctuates way too. It might go up and down 3 or 4 or 5,000 a day. So you can't, if you take it at 120,000 and you get ready to sell it tomorrow for 115,000, you're going to lose $5,000 on just one coin. So but the with the Texit, it's pretty stable. It's growing at a pretty stable rate. It fluctuates maybe 5 or 10 cents a day at times, but they really want the more stable coin. this website's going to be set to where you can buy something on it, but the person that takes that coin will be able to liquidate it immediately and get 100% of their money if they want to, which is another big thing about crypto.
Awesome. And can you just clear up the 100, being able to mine for the next 135 years? What does that actually mean?
Well, I mean, it's the mines will keep going, the equipment will keep going. Now there will require some funding at some point in time, and they're thinking annual, at the worst case, maybe 2 or 3% to keep the mines up and running. Once then, the hard part is the hardware and the electricity costs on the front end. We're mining enough Litecoin with the same mining process to cover all the electricity and then some. But what will happen is, and it could be 5 or 10 years down the road, if there's money required to keep the mine upgraded and running properly, that money will come out of the coins before the coins are distributed. So you won't see, it'll be equal. That way it's all equal. It'll be equally distributed, and that's Bobby's give us 5 years to run it like it is and take care of it. And from that point on, there'll be someone responsible, because it's going to be when you think of 1 million miners, getting paid every day, they don't want that to stop. So they're going to do whatever they can to keep it going. We're going to still get our things. I mean, once I'm not even here anymore, my kids are still going to get the coins.
Right.
It's willable, that kind of thing, and you can sell off of some miners from time to time if you want to.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Another question came in that talks about, so say you don't have the money, you need to get going right now. Could you partner up with someone? Could you?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So I would say absolutely you could. You can also, just buy some coin. You can buy $100 worth of coin or whatever.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people do. Buy coins and wait for them to go up, and then you can, you can buy your miner.
In fact, I heard a young man. He's the son of one of our miners, and the father was teaching the son about Texit coin and everything, and he's taking his allowance to buying Texit coin. But he was doing this months ago, right, when it was under $1. It was like 20 something cents or whatever, and he has now earned enough in coin that he was able to buy his miner from that. So
That's
that was
awesome.
that was cool.
That's happened several times, actually.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Hey folks, I'm putting on the screen this texitallstars.com/mining. If you're interested in getting more information, first of all, get back to the person that sent you to this live stream. Okay, so talk to them first. But if you're part of the Texit All-Star team, feel free to go to texitallstars.com/mining. Check out the video that's there. Give us your information, and we'll reach out to you and help you. We'll answer your questions you have and help you get started right away with Texit Coin. So we are at the top of the hour. Greg, I appreciate you, brother, for joining us tonight. Obviously, Dr. Purvis, thank you for hosting the show.
Absolutely great. Thanks again. Appreciate
live stream tonight.
Yeah, we enjoy both of you guys. Go Texit. If you're not in, you need to get in. That's
just bottom line, right?
Yeah, bottom line.
It's not going to stop. It's not going to stop. So.
Yeah. So we're going to do this We're going to do this live stream a couple times a month. So stay tuned for the next one. Until then, guys, thank you so much. Appreciate you. And we will see you on the next live stream.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Thank you.